roll 46, 6 different times, please. And
Is your name Mort on that one?
no, you're rolling a new character stat array. You
But I
notice
meant-
too much. Anyways, Almir, please, for the love of God, Almir.
Meanwhile, a group of TSA agents are arguing over whether or not to open a bag.
No, Reina, no.
Surprise, it's a small child. Roll for initiative.
Find out your
Pops out
flight's
a
been
We
delayed
are
for
on
it.
transit
projectile
out of the
vomiting.
city.
And turns
Right?
out they were trying to go to an island.
Your mask is ineffective. It vomits on you.
Oh no, you've been kidnapped.
You find
My
your flight has been
kidnapped
delayed by
detained.
Your flight's been delayed by 12 hours due to technical difficulties. You decide to start a game of D&D, and here we are in the world of Almir.
And it's
Oh no, the
Inception
meta,
of
it's
D&D
so strong.
games, all the way down. Wait, it's all
Might
role-playing
explain it.
games? Always has been.
Hold
Always
on.
has been.
Hold on. That explains our characters a little bit more, that we're all just disgruntled TSA, or disgruntled flight passengers waiting for a plane.
I'm just the one that always gets arrested. I should start calling racism.
Oh no.
Pull the racism card, see what happens.
So we left the city by night.
It was night, yes.
Yeah. So who wants to give a quick recap? 'Cause it's been a little bit. I mean, a bunch happened, but at the same time, not a ton happened, I guess.
We fumbled around the city trying to find a lead. The lead found us and told us, get out.
Well,
Pretty much.
I mean, kind of.
What do you mean,
That's
kind of?
fine.
That's a highly accurate, if, missing some information, rendition of the past 3 hours in game.
if it's missing information, is it really accurate?
What is written here? What did Thamor do?
Oh, I miss more. Hold on, I'm on a different page because I was setting things up.
What
Oh, hold on.
is there?
I
Is
need
there
to
still...
start. Do I need to start proofreading like my maps before I start sessions for things that Thamor has left us?
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Have you seen this man?
That was there last time. I do remember that one.
Okay, I missed that last time.
Yeah, he typed out at the start when they were looking for you, but for whatever reason they put that picture there. I don't see any more Nokoisms.
That was the one I saw, so.
I see one. It's
mean, I
under
see
the Eye and Mercantile Geck shop here.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I see it.
The Eye and Mercantile?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mercantile.
Am I just blind?
That'd be a great name for a
Oh,
shop.
jeez Louise. There it is.
Mercantile.
Totally.
And then under the veneer of high society,
Wow,
torture of dance
Salty.
music.
I need to get access to like No Ghost Tailspire maps and just start adding text to them.
I can send you codes.
Oh, there's another one under the L under Plaza, sponsored by Gek. Gosh, I didn't even. How does he? I have to like critically analyze all of my maps for vandalism left by Noko. And how? Why?
You just can't make a map that's so big anymore. If it's smaller, you can spot them quicker.
Don't just make him smaller.
It's true.
How do? Okay, I need to like revoke his permission to edit anything. Oh, there's another one. There's frigging red in Sunbreak under the U. He wrote Gek was here. Holy crap, Noko.
So tiny.
Yeah, there's one on the K too. I just noticed owned by Gek.
Mhm.
Well, I am getting slightly derailed, but now I'm like paranoid that there's more.
It's okay.
those are the main. The rest of them, there isn't
We
anymore.
know Gek is always here.
Mm-hmm.
I need to
We are Gek and
figure
Gek
out
is
if there's
us.
a way I can revoke his privileges to doing literally any of this.
There isn't. I'm sorry to say.
I don't know. I will find a way. I'll find something. Either that or for all the ones he adds, I just slowly start stacking. You know what? No, even better. I need to count up the amount of times he's done it, and slowly there's going to be something happening as a result.
Something somewhere happens.
He will know nothing of this, and as he continues to vandalize my maps, he's going to fight a foe far greater than himself as a result of this.
What was that one key? I think the D&D Heritage video you showed with the guy who had the anti-magic amulet that took it off and blew up a city.
I didn't say that.
Well, I'm just saying, make
No,
it
I was looking at
dramatic.
the out of context channel. Well, not exactly what I said, but
That is what you said.
no, I said it's under the eye in mercantile. I didn't say there's an eye in mercantile.
Oh!
I was looking
That's not
for
even
the
what
eye.
I heard you say.
I know there's an eye in mercantile. I wrote it.
I legitimately just thought that you forgot how to spell there for a second.
I'm staring at the text. All right. Anyway. Great start. Yeah. So Andros got imprisoned. That was several sessions ago. The party had Benny Hill blasting in the background as they gallivanted around the city, trying to find leads as to how to go about it, choosing the probably worst time in the entire spectrum of the day by choosing night to go out and look for him. The gang decides to do a mix between breaking into temples, committing arson, committing what was the other thing?
The spider?
Oh, Noka wanted just to break into people's houses and look.
It wasn't arson, it was a smoke bomb. They didn't know that, but
They didn't know it
Okay,
wasn't going
acts
to be
of
arson.
terrorism then.
I think
That's
it's
better.
destruction
I
of
will
property
label
and
this.
such.
Absinthoth also tried to conduct
spider fight.
fraud extermination? Vigilante extermination offers?
They
Hey, there's a
also
spider.
tried-
Oh, I'll go kill it. You should go deal with
Yeah.
that. I should help you.
We almost had Spooky Rat Incident 2.0. This time is Spider. All while, of course, in perfect view of the Night's Watch group, the
The Shadow Guard.
Shadow Guard, and nearly getting in trouble with a lot of them until they realized that the entire time they were being watched by it and they were being waited on because Andros had already given the info to his sister, who met with you all who told you about a place in the sun wastes to go investigate that may have the answers or at least something as to what's going on. Because she's convinced that whatever is occurring here, what's been happening, was all a result of information gathered there. She convinces you that this will help. She can't leave herself, but she sends her own personal guard along with you to guide you and kind of keep an eye on you.
And it's Mighty Chihuahua.
That's
Guide a little dog.
This is the Floof campaign. Did I miss anything in that retelling?
No.
No. Sounds about complete.
So you guys all took a caravan that was provided by Orduril and Kazdaya. Kazdaya? Is it gonna do this wrong again? Kazdaya or Kazdaya?
Kazdia.
Kazdia. Don't
Emphasis
go. Why
on the
I
first
can't.
syllable, yeah.
Kazdia. And you set out. So. Now.
I do have a few
Your
things I
path-
want to do before we get too far, but
Sure.
do your thing first.
No. I mean, I was just gonna say the path. That's probably not the max. Those are not the roads. So the path they take you on takes you down south through Selmersgard, through Dahykeid, Dahykeid,
Dahykeid.
Dahykeid. One downside of me not being the one that wrote them is I don't actually.
Sorry.
I mean, that's fine. I like all the names. I just need to learn how to pronounce them. Ignore also, again, I still haven't removed it, but I still kind of like it as the random Alton tribute at the bottom and Thamor Jail.
Thamor Jail, Alton, and the Gek army up top.
Yeah, well, the lines are drawn. So, and as you're traveling, I know Ordil had wanted to, I think you said you wanted to kind of regale or talk to the group as well about some of your stuff because you had some information pertaining where you're going. I don't know if you want to be the one RP or if you want me to give that just general.
I mean, I can do it. I will say he's not necessarily forthcoming. He is very quiet. He does not speak unless he is being spoken to, and he is very curt if you do ask him questions. It is very short and curt. He is not a verbose man. But what he will say as we are traveling down is that we are meeting with, south of Dahykeid, we are meeting with a representative of one of the Dragonborn clans. But he doesn't share any more information until we get closer.
Okay. So in that travel time, is there anything you guys want to do or say in that downtime before we fast forward? Because there is some travel time obviously in this that we're gonna kind of slightly hand wave him, but
Huge Odro coming in.
Oh, mine's big.
you're just riding his shoulders. He's just walking the entire.
I had a couple of quick things, but Shred, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I had 3 dreams and ascending.
Great.
What? It's like having a cell phone. And they can't ignore your call.
What poor terrors are you going to unleash upon Josh today?
Oh, Josh isn't even involved in this one.
I somehow feel worse about that now. You kind of just left him hanging now.
We'll get to Josh when we know a little bit more about this whole thing. Plus, it gives him time to cook. The first thing I want to do is use the void to send a message to Marani with the following message. Letting her know that Andros is in danger. Man, we could use some help. Leaving that as kind of open-ended.
And you're using Dream for that, or
I'm going to try and use, sending for this.
I believe you have to be on the same plane, right?
Yes, if it's not, there's a 5% chance it will fail.
So it can cross planes. There's just a slight chance of misdial if it's not on the same plane.
Correct. For all Athos knows, she's on the same plane. We just don't know.
All right, give me roll a d100. Through 5 is the failure rate. All right. So it succeeds.
Which I'm sure she probably wouldn't be too excited to randomly hear a message like this one day. Am I going crazy? Am I hearing seeing Reyna's thing, not hearing anything?
Yeah, her voice is not coming through.
Yeah, we're not hearing her.
Absinthoss, as you're reaching out to Marani, you feel the message gets sent. This would actually... You hear a voice unfamiliar to you respond. She doesn't want to talk to you right now, so why don't you bugger the fuck off? We're a little busy.
Yes! Yes!
He's not gonna bother responding to that, so whatever.
Oh, I love it so much.
This is the anti-spam number. You've been blocked. Anti-spam service.
Please leave your name and number after the beep so I can block you.
She has her own answering system in her head now. So...
Womp womp.
Well, that one didn't work. Next he's gonna try to contact Zidane via dream. Let's know a little bit more of what's going on at home with Galaran, and then I'll yield the time over to Reyna after that.
So you're reaching out to Zidane via a dream.
Yes, and I want the dream to look very similar to that sanctuary mansion. You know, the portable. That way, at least
I'm
looks
assuming
familiar.
you're doing this on a random night, considering he would have to be asleep.
Yes, he would do it at whatever the hour needs to be for it to be night in Galaran. And we'll hear Zerg's new mic. All its glory.
These are things you probably... Did you discuss this with
No.
Zerg at all?
Because it's the last minute idea.
Because, okay. Wait,
I
don't
totally
you
know
need
everything that's
Hold on,
going on.
doesn't Dream require... Doesn't Dream require thing?
Like you know the person.
I thought it required a physical lock of hair. Yeah, body part or something.
Think
It's only if you don't know. Oh, it's only if they don't know you. Oh, yes. What it is?
Choose a
If
creature
you-
known to you.
Oh,
just known.
if you have something of theirs, they make the save against damage at disadvantage. That's all.
Oh.
Otherwise, you can contact anybody you know or know about. Apparently, invade their dreams.
Huh.
I got a better idea. While you're thinking of that, why don't I just yield the time over to Reyna? Because I'm sure hers are less crazy.
Yeah, mine'll be quick. So first of all, at some point, during the travel time, Hildy is going to pull out her sending stone to her father again and just send him a message that says, heading to Orzov's site in the Sun Wastes should supposedly help Andros. We could use Ren's help. Also, his stone to Andros may be compromised.
Okay.
And also, I'm assuming that at some point during the time that Hildy has been traveling with the Curse Breakers, that she has been made aware of the Mamazon bag. She is going to try her luck to see, like, she desperately wants her drugs, and her drugs have been confiscated, supposedly, with because Andros had them. So, I assume that she won't be able to get her drugs from the bag, but would she be able to get the supplies to make her drugs from the bag?
Hello,
If
Fran.
she knows the materials to create it, then yes.
Oh yeah, she absolutely does.
Then yes.
Hello, Fran.
You can...
Sorry.
it's a bag. It's a demon bag from hell. They don't really discriminate, and they actually encourage drug use. So kids listening, don't do deals with demon bags.
So we haven't specifically talked about like what those materials are or how much they would cost, but I mean, like, what do you want to say, like, cost wise?
Let me see. I'm going to. See.
Wasn't there that big list of reagent prices? It's like a reasonable
Yeah,
reagent.
but I'm trying to think what like a reagent would like. Trying to think what that would entail as far as.
I'm taking a look at the adventuring gear here.
I mean, I guess just for fun, what is the kind of effect of the drug? Is it like
I
a
mean, it's a
hallucinogenic
stimulant. I
drug?
mean, no,
Stimulant?
yeah, it's just a stimulant. I've been basically referring to it as jerry rag cocaine.
Let's see. Let's say. Sorry. I know, I just want to kind of get an idea, and I have an idea what I want to do.
I would imagine this is something a lot of people in the guild use.
Maybe. Probably. Some variant of it, I imagine. So, let's do... Let's say... Oh, that's full. So I think I said I have the prices by what the DMG is, right? And
Yeah.
by gold.
You were,
Well,
yeah, I think you were saying half that cost. We've been going
Yeah.
off of like half
So
that. Yep.
let's do... Let's do... Let's do 125 gold total, as though
Okay.
it were basically the cost of buying a scroll of haste,
Okay, that sounds good to me.
material-wise. Since it's a stimulant, third level spell type effect, granted it's not going to be exactly what haste is doing, but the idea that you're creating a bootlegged haste to get you high.
Okay.
You're taking a scroll of haste, ripping it up, and then turning
Yeah,
it
I mean,
into
it's not
dust.
like a one-time use. You'll get a supply of it, and we can say that if you're buying reagents to make it, that'll be a check of some kind to see how many doses you basically get.
Okay. What kind of check is that?
I mean, we can go ahead and use your
Alchemy?
well,
Like alchemy tools?
alchemy's. I mean, you can use alchemy tools, which is something that's is that intelligence? I'm trying to think what skill. It's not.
Yeah, makes sense. It'd be intelligence, maybe nature or arcana.
So I'm trying to either nature or.
Could just be a straight like alchemy check with your proficiency of your alchemy tools.
We can say either. Honestly, whatever is higher. Say it's either arcana or nature. Whichever is higher.
I will do Arcana, and I roll with advantage, don't I?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. That's a natural 20.
So many drugs.
So that is
Okay.
a 33 total.
All right. So I was gonna have you roll a d10, but since you nat 20'd it, you make the perfect batch of 10 doses.
Okay, great. Yeah, this. Hildy is desperate for her drugs. She is just in the zone. She makes the perfect batch of drugs. All right.
Like everything is meticulous and perfect. There is no wasted materials at all.
It have a distinctive blue color.
question
Crystalline
is
without clouds.
where- Where do you make these drugs? Do you make it in like the coach? Do we do it at a random stop point? Like, hold on, let me do this.
Coach, this is just like Breaking Bad. Jesus. We're in the desert in a motorhome with being pulled by horses, making drugs.
I would have.
When Hildy's making drugs or weird shit on the cart, everyone's fine. But as soon as Pestles does something,
No, I would
You
imagine
exploded into a dragon.
You're definitely the Jesse Pinkman of this relationship.
No, I mean, as hilarious as that is, Hildy would not, she knows better than to mess with volatile substances in an enclosed space. So I think that she would be doing this, when they stop for camp one night or something. I mean, she stays up late anyway, so.
Okay. Yeah, so you pick out as you stop, and it doesn't have to be like a one-time creation. It can be something you do over the course of the travel. It could be when you even stop in Somersguard. It could be done then, kind of deal. Like you squirrel away in the inn or something. I will also say, as far as general travel, I would say go ahead and deduct we'll say 10 gold total for rooms for between Somersguard and Dahykeid. Unless people want to roleplay in each of those towns, but there's not a whole lot really going on between, I imagine, trying to get to where you need to be.
I want to roleplay Seabreeze helping and trying to figure out how they can make money selling drugs.
Oh no, Hildy's not selling her drugs. These are Hildy's drugs.
Seabreeze is watching. She's trying to figure out how to cook the good blue stuff.
Wouldn't Seabreeze just want the good green leaf or grass?
Yeah, what is catnip for tabaxi? I don't know.
Probably catnip.
Sure.
I mean,
Skooma.
moon sugar.
Yeah. And I got another side there, I guess. Okay. Anything else? I think Shred, you still said you had multiple things of dream and other things you wanted to do.
Yeah, we'll just shrink it down to just 2. One should be a super easy, because I'm pretty sure it's going to fail. I still want to try sending a dream to Andros.
He
has been missing.
That 100% will fail.
I mean, he has to know whether he can at least try or not.
Oh no, I'm saying you can try, and you do so. It fails.
Yeah, he knows it fails.
That one is just a straight up. I'm telling you, it does not reach him.
So he has access to water. He will remember this. And the last one, he's going to try and send a dream to Zidane. See how his old friend is doing, especially someone who might have wanted to join on that adventure.
Probably something that should have been mentioned prior to the session, because I'm getting your message now. That's a lot of info that is something Zidane wouldn't necessarily know either.
Or you could go with the fact that I can make a reply. he can ask that question. We can have a. Is dream a conversation, or is it just
It's like
him sending a message?
it's more
One
like a
way.
conversation. I guess we could try doing that in the Almir conversation. Actually, that's a good
I mean, you
idea.
could have the quick chat now, but I'm mostly just saying
I-
in terms of where Sedan has been. I don't think Sedan is in Galaran at the moment.
That
remember.
Fans doesn't know that. That might be a disappointment when he hears like, "Oh, thought you were."
I mean, there's a couple of ways to play it because I know that you and I haven't, Salty, been able to nail down anything specific other than Sedan's Galaran or around. But I can answer questions if absent
Well, I know
thoughts
you can.
always.
I'm not saying you can't answer questions. I'm just saying we never discussed where he is right now. So
Or,
the answers
let
to
me
those
rephrase.
questions.
I can have a conversation with applesauce as a Dan, but it's not necessarily going to be answering the questions that he wants. Hehe.
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the old Sanctuary Mansion map. Might be a good thing to transition to for a minute.
Well, it's theater of a mind. It's fine
Yeah.
too.
You mean this?
But the
So-
oh, that's right. I did make a map for it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Hey, there we are.
Hey, Zidane.
And Zidane is inside his dream. If he's dreaming of the
Mhm.
mansion, it would be a little bit odd for him to be dreaming of said mansion because he's usually living inside of it. But
Yeah, that might be a bit awkward.
the dining table, the furniture, everything seems arranged as ready for 7 guests. Though it's a little bit dusty. The fire is the fireplace down to small little red embers, and he's looking at them and then hears your voice and
Thought doesn't Shred create the dream?
Yeah, I am. It like I said, it might just there's a little bit of deja vu.
I apologize. I didn't catch that part about him making the dream.
Well, I want to make it
That's
in a
okay.
form that you're familiar with, so I'm perfectly okay with that description.
Okay, then. Yeah. Is there void bullshit around your figure as this is happening? By the way, the
I don't
special
wish to
effects?
project that, so no.
Okay. Just double checking. And Zidane looks over at you and raises an eyebrow. This isn't how my house looks at the moment, and I have no idea where you are.
We're
Hello,
just south of
Absinthe.
Sunbreak. And yes, this is based off a year off memory. I assume you've changed a little bit, the house.
Not this one. Not really, at least. But, what brings us together? Did you break the world again?
Oh, I'm sure if I broke the world, you would have heard it by now.
And as he said that, he's a little smile.
No, but I do have more grave news. The rest of us are just south of Sunbreak, and Andros landed himself in prison again, and well, Marani isn't going to help, that's for sure, and I don't know how he will ever be brought out of prison.
Why wouldn't she? And He was sitting, but now he stands. He's frowning.
I don't know. I thought she looked up to the captain, but maybe I'm wrong about that one.
Did she say that she wouldn't help you? That doesn't seem right.
Well, I guess you got a point there. I mean, she just told me to fuck off when I asked, so I guess it kind of leaves it in the air. Anyways, it's been a while. Some things related to that. I guess, how are things in Galaran? I assume you're still at Galaran at the moment, since you're ennobled and all.
Could we focus maybe on the fact that Andros is in prison again? What circumstances did you find yourselves in?
To put it really briefly, we believe there are cultists in Sunbreak that are attempting to wrangle the control of he does the thing air quotes, God, and does the air quotes. And if I'm to speculate, they're going to try to use Andros as a vessel. But that part's purely speculation. But it appears that those in Sunbreak are trying to tame a god, and they are using some technology from Jirarag to do so. Meanwhile, there's another faction in Sunbreak that thinks that Galaran's trying to invade them.
Well, there isn't a deer in the headlight look. The equivalent for the Yanti is just blinking rapidly and cocking his head.
So I was hoping you could confirm or deny if my mother actually is doing anything, or she just sent us all there as a pretense for an attempt of an actual invasion.
I'm not privy to those details. Only what your mother deigns to tell me, or what my sister sometimes tells me.
Any increased unusual activity that you could tell? I mean, I'd imagine my mother's not going to tell, Hero Galaran, oh, I am planning to invade a sovereign nation. Of course I'll tell people, someone who wants to smite me for it.
Do you really think your mother would share plans like that with a paladin, let alone a warden?
That's
like me?
That's exactly what I was saying. I was hoping you might... How did I put it this way? My mother may be crafty, but every plan has leaks. I was wondering if you were able to detect any leaks. Perhaps an increase in sacrifices or unexpected movement of people.
Zidane sighs and is looking down, thinking. No, not that I can notice. I've been focusing on trying to make sure that people are able to build themselves back up. Adventurers are able to adventure. My house is still unknown, even after all this time.
Some of those things just take seasons. I mean, Galaran wasn't built in a day, either.
No, but it was torn down in one.
Such the nature of empires. Well,
I think empire means you have more than one city, but those things are above me. As far as help from over here, if that's what you're asking for, I'm not in a position to leave.
actually, I was hoping that you wouldn't leave and come across the ocean for us. I think you would be a great help just being on that side and being eyes and ears to things that we could never.
Eyes and ears. I have no mouth with which to get such information to you, though, unless you're going to be interrupting my sleep on a regular basis. Like,
Oh, you'll feel refreshed in the morning, no doubt.
perhaps physically.
Well, so that's physically is the most important part.
Mm. How are the others aside from Andros being detained?
Let's see. Seabrace is doing good. He's an adept spy. Not dissimilar to Alton, just kind of miss Alton. I wonder where he went. Hey, Alton was a figment of our imagination.
No. No, I very much doubt that.
Let's see. What else do we got? We picked up 2. Actually, he did pick up an interesting kobold. Of all things.
What, over in Sormir?
Yeah, on the other continent. Yeah, just him and priestess, I think a good description. We just kind of stumbled in. Someone done to our group. Great people. You know. The little dragon, the kobold, definitely is a little chaotic, but he's managing. Thamor is doing typical Thamor things. I mean, he's just trying to fish. And to me, the closest thing we have is a god amongst men.
Mm-hmm.
So the others from our old crew, I don't know. Obviously, Ronnie told me to F off. I haven't tried asking my our huntress friend. But
He crosses his arms at that.
well, I'm sure she's keeping my father safe. That's the most important part.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt to ask her for help as well. Some places that we can't go, maybe she can unlock, or might have a friend or influence that could open that door.
It will. My magic has limits to it. I mean, I could try. I'm not even sure it will be able to reach her. I mean, it probably will, but no guarantee.
Well, just don't hurt yourself too much trying to find out how to break our dear captain out of jail again.
Good thing you had a last sentence on it. I'm more worried about him being used as a vessel.
I imagine that is something that I might understand later. But all I can do, perhaps, is try and ask, or look over letters that I might have not read in a while.
That, I think just being observant to be the most important. Yes, feel free to ask, in a discreet manner. But if there's anything that just seems out of the ordinary, that will be most important. Perhaps her mother suddenly cuts herself off or something.
Right.
Or she disappears from the city unannounced.
So I know that you said it would be a good idea for me to stay here, but if I hear that there's some sort of war being declared, do you want me to come find you? If you're still over on the other continent?
As long as you get a boat here safely. We did fight an unchained Umberlee right here. That was
Come again?
Yeah, I don't know how to best explain it. But yes, the waters may not be the safest. Yes, the sea god is. I had a distaste for our former captain. Eh, Even I don't fully understand it. Had to do with an ex-lover kind of situation.
Are you sure it wasn't because you put a cavernous hole that keeps on eating the ocean when we were going south?
You know, I would have thought so, but she didn't even mention anything about it. All she wanted to talk about was the captain. Besides, it is some napkin math. It'll take a while before the ocean really gets going. And I am trying to find a way to undo
I'll have
that
some
error.
thoughts.
Yeah, we met a great halfling engineer. She might be a little happy on some kind of stimulants, but she may have an idea on how to create a new invention that could help us repair the ocean. I mean, help me undo the mistake I did.
How long does this magic of invading my dream last, by the way?
Until I decide so. And it kind of sounds like you're really tired of it.
No, it's not that. It's just
I
there's
mean, it
not
could
much
end if some shakes you awake.
there's not much I can do to help you right now. And well, where are you? I know you're across the ocean, but where?
Right now, just south of Sunbreak, we are heading to the Sun Waste, trying to find some kind of arcane secret.
Hmm.
Some kind of arcane secret to make sure our captain stays in the living side of the plane.
Well, if the markers are still up there, look for the Twin Keys. I did wander around and found a couple of nice places for um, pauses, looking off to the side, down the hall. There are a couple of places that I helped to clear out little infestations. They're probably overran again by now, if no one's kept them up. Roads not being safe and all.
Yeah, I mean, it listens to the name Sun Waste, not Sun, you know, estates and resorts.
Well, I... You and your interesting ways of talking. Just be careful at night.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you ever end up at Sunbreak, yeah, do be careful at night as well. Is there anything to be worried about in the wastes at night? From the sky or from below?
Yes. He just nods. There's a pained smile. Both.
Same or different? Not that really matters.
My friend, he reaches out and tries to put a hand on your shoulder. Am I allowed to, or how does this dream work?
Yeah, you can.
Hand on your shoulder, smiles, and says, just make sure to keep a good watch.
We'll make sure of it. I guess there may be one more favor I could ask of you. So, maybe halfling engineer was a poor description. What I meant to say was Hildy. I don't know why I thought halfling. I don't know if you could spare aside maybe a little bit of funding just in case for her, and I think Pestles have some crazy invention they want to try.
Pestles?
Oh yes, that's the kobold I was telling you about.
Right. As far as funding, I mean,
Don't have to spend anything right now. Just think about it. I'm gonna try to free as much money as I can for it, but
You
Something's so far.
assume that just because I'm trying to take my noble duties seriously, that I might have access to anything. I suppose you could say discretionary. But I suppose, unless this. Maybe I'll just ask questions about that later.
yeah, I forgot that you still have a lot to learn about nobility. Just keep the thought in the back of the mind. I'll talk to you about it later.
So you're south of Sunbreak, and you need to know what's going on in Galaran. Yes?
Yes. If my mother is preparing for a war, need that to stop as soon as we can.
Alright. Well, give me 2 weeks, I suppose. Or maybe just 1, 2, well, paperwork and...
2 weeks, I think, should be good. I don't want to rush this. Besides, even if we did have the ability to... Even Gallon had the ability to move troops there tomorrow, it would still take weeks just to prepare everything.
I'm hoping that whatever this war is that you're worrying about isn't going to come to pass, but hopefully you'll be able to find whatever it is in Stormir that will help stop it before it truly begins.
That's the hope. And to bring our captain home safely. He's done a lot for us.
Wait, Andrew. And then Zidane frowns and then becomes very serious. Do you have his things, his effects? Did they take him with all of his bags?
Out of character, I think I gave the pendant back to Andros, right? Not
Pendant?
Yeah, the pendant of the ex-lover, the one
yeah,
that reaches out to the person underground.
And he had given it back to
It's in Dietrich's hands at the moment.
Is Dietrich like 6 feet under?
No,
No,
Dietrich's
we don't know
in
what
the
happened
ship,
to him.
in the brig.
Oh yeah, he's in the ship.
Oh!
Last we left him, he was in the brig.
Unless you murdered him without me apparently knowing.
He was fed to the Gex. No, but anyways,
Mate, I'll have to ask Hildy. She might have something. I don't. Fortunately.
I don't know if he might have put it somewhere safe, but if they have him and talking about gods and vessels and things of power, they have the Warden's acorn.
An acorn?
It's what's used to pass the Warden's power to someone else. I thought I might die after last I parted ways with Andros when we went to Sormir, so I gave it to him for safekeeping, and we haven't seen each other since. I would know if something happened to it, but hopefully they don't know what it is.
Absthos turns around. Let's pray that they're as dumb as they think they are. Trying to control a god. I mean, honestly, we could never have known he was going to get captured, so I can't even be mad. You can only just hope and pray. I mean, things are bad enough he is locked up some faraway place. I can't even reach him. Not by any message. Not evocation magic, not divination magic. He's disappeared.
Don't take any unnecessary risks, then.
No, but we may have to take some necessary risk. Well, at least your sister's a nice person.
Ah. Last I checked, she was still alive. Sometimes it feels like she's dancing on a razor's edge, though.
Yeah, I mean, we both know his family problems.
I imagined your sister's keeping you in check. No more stealing wood blight.
The mastery continues.
Surprised
No,
that she's
major.
not also here.
Is there any more like pertinent
Sorry,
info
yes,
that we
wrapping it
want
up.
to go through, or do
Yeah,
we want
we're
to
wrapping it
move
up.
this to a discussion thread for later? Not trying to rush it
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
but at the
no,
same
no.
time,
We know it's taking a while.
a
We're trying to
lot of
wrap
this
it up.
conversation is very probably could be in a discussion thread if you want more of the.
Hence the 2 weeks. Anyways, yes.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up.
All right. All for RP moments, but I think the conversation is starting to deviate a little bit from.
Yeah. The original scope, yeah.
Well, I don't want to say like useful, but more so like again, this is definitely more of a good conversation, but maybe not to spend the
Can be
next
done
hour
in
on.
a different setting. Yes.
Yeah.
Is agreed.
So you want to get back, like I said, if you want to continue the discussion, feel free to in the discussion thread, and we can go through and I can.
We're gonna wrap it
can
up in
even-
like 30 seconds or less.
Was trying to do a closing remark. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I meant more of if there is info, not necessarily pertinent to the immediate situation, but like even other info that Zidane has to give that we can talk about later as to events in Galaran we can talk about, but that would be probably better in the
later,
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be the whole 2 weeks from in-game now.
Yeah. As far as Zidane is aware, though, or anyone even in Galaran would be aware of, there is no war being prepped for in Galaran. Nothing major that would be of any concern really to anyone watching from the outside.
Business as usual. The rebuilding continues.
Now, anything under that, sure, we might be able to figure something out, but at least on the open end. Okay.
Yeah.
Was
Absol
there-
basically finished off by snapping his fingers. Tell see you next time. Ends the dream.
Okay. Was there anything else people wanted to do in that downtime to Dahykeid? Did Odril, and he said Odril's not really going to talk much unless prompted, or not
Yeah,
provoked.
I mean, he's
prompted.
He has been given his orders to lead them to the to Dahykeid and to the Sun Waste, and that's what he's doing.
Okay, so a pretty quiet, somber journey then it seems like, passing between the towns as you have your respective little side conversations. It seems like a lot of these happen more so probably at evenings and such, or even maybe just kind of nonchalantly for those that are casting Sending and such throughout the trip, but it sounds like it's a pretty quiet trip. Perhaps the weight of what you saw on Sunbreak still weighs heavily on your minds. Perhaps the expectation of what's to come is weighing on you. I guess that's to be discovered. And as the group, pass through Sombersgard, no one really stops you, having Odril at your side. Pretty much clears. I mean, it's a smaller city, but it pretty much clears. You just go through, spend the night, leave. No one really gives you any hassle. And then passing it along the roads to Dahykeid. You're still in the province of, under the Order of the White Leaf. The roads in this area are still pretty well maintained, but as you get further and further south, you notice that the presence of the guard, the presence of the knights start diminishing again, just like in Luminesca. They get thinner and thinner and thinner, and even more so as you get closer to Dahykeid, where there really isn't a large, or predominant show of the Radiant Knights.
How's the weather? I mean, it's winter. It's basically December. We're going south. It's probably tailing into, actually, if we've been walking, it's probably tailing into what amounts to, is it Hammer, I think is the first month?
I thought we took the cart.
It's still winter.
Yeah, as far as walking speed. But wrong thing to focus on at the end of the statement. I'm sorry.
No, I know, but that was just amusing. Um, so, I mean, yes, it's snowing as you leave the city. I kind of forgot about that, honestly. As you leave the city and the kind of almost nearly internal sunlight summer that seems to be experiencing the city, yeah, once you leave and get far enough past the boundaries, yeah, you start stepping back into the familiar territory of snow and cold. Um, most cities are bunkered down. You bundle up, kind of trying your best to stay warm. Uh, I mean, most of you have either, some kind of thick coats or ways to probably produce some form of heat to keep you occupied as you go. It's not exactly treacherous mountainous terrain with howling winds and tundra. Um, but it does preoccupy your mind. Maybe that's what cuts down your conversations a bit, as well as the cold kind of just keeps everyone bundled up as they can as the cavern trudges along in the snow. However, as you get closer to Dahykeid, temperature once again kind of picks back up as the arid desert air kind of keeps things, it's not crazy hot, and it's not like the desert is immune to the winter, but it is keeping it warmer than the surrounding areas. And Dahykeid kind of has an odd place in that where there's traces of snow on the ground, but it's warm enough that it kind of seems to flux between being in almost a permanent state of constantly getting snow and melting near its edges. So a lot of patches of snow. But entering Dahykeid, Odril guides you over to one of the inns that he's familiar with. You also notice that in Dahykeid, for those that keep an eye out for such things, the local populace here is definitely a lot more varied than the other cities you've come across. The presence of other half-breeds, or even more of the, I don't want to say more brutish, but the larger races, I guess. The less,
The more monstrous races, perhaps?
Perhaps, yes. The more monstrous or the most or closer to that pure blood monstrous races seem to live here. So a lot more of the orcs or the couple of dragonborns still are seen around the town, but not very many. More of those half-bloods. You see a little more of the half-elves, the half-orcs. Seems like, and again, presence of the Radiant Knight seems almost non-existent here. Maybe occasional one or twos posted as to basically maintain city order, but it seems like this is pretty much you're at the border of what the Order of the White Leaf really controls. This is more or less considered that border town.
Do they have obviously they don't have many Radiant Knights, but they have a decent military presence
They
there?
do still have a decent military, but it's comprised
Yeah.
more of what would be considered like a local militia.
Gotcha.
They still obviously report to the Order of the White Leaf and the Radiant Knights, and that's what the Radiant Knights there to do. They basically serve as the head of that garrison. But like I said, their presence is minimal. Like Sommersguard, Evenstrand, there were more Radiant Knights there, and even lieutenants and commanders under the Radiant Knights that serve directly to them. Versus here, it's like one Radiant Knight from the Order of White Leaf, and the rest is all local militia serving under them.
Okay.
So. But so we're gonna kind of hand away some of this as far as travel time, but as you are staying in the inn, Odril leads you over to one where a blue-scaled dragonborn, kind of wearing a rough set of what seemed to be leather traveling gear, I don't know, like a open shirt of sorts, waiting for you. He's been kind of milling around the inn, it seemed, and at the sight of Odril, his large kind of sharp-toothed grin widens up at seeing him. Odril, my friend, you have finally arrived.
Vorthox. It is good to see you.
What's it been? Few months, years. You should come visit more often. Dogs in the Order White ride you too hard.
I have not come to visit Othra in some years. My duties have kept me.
You and your duties. I understand them perfectly well, but every now and then you see him kind of lounge back in the chair in the inn, kind of downing some ale. It's nice to take a little break.
Is that dragon piece? Motions to the drink he's downing.
They don't have that kind of stuff here seasonally. We plan to bring some back next time I'm down there. But, well, he kind of stands up, stretches his back out, kind of gets everything.
You know.
Is this the lot you're taking with? God, I'm changing it.
Yeah.
Is this the lot that's coming with us?
It is. You know why we have come. Yes.
I've heard some things. I don't know all the details, but I have an inkling. Looks over the group. You sure they're ready, though?
They are an interesting crew. They traveled quietly, but they will do.
We can
gives
handle
you
ourselves.
He gives you a smirk at that and kind of saunters over to the group. He kind of looks at each in turn. And he flashes a very toothy smile. You see all the fangs that, are akin to that of a dragonborn. So, what do the lot of you know about Dragonborn, then? We have some nasty rumors surrounding us.
Well earned at times.
He gives you a grin and kind of jabs, gives you an elbow to the stomach, lighthearted.
This is one of the few times you've seen Odril even the hint of a smile. It's very short, but it's there.
You flatter me so.
So, Salty, I know that we established several sessions ago that Hildy was pretty knowledgeable about Cobalt. How well does that translate into Dragonborn? Does she know much about them?
You can roll me a history check.
Okay.
In fact, anyone that would potentially have some semblance of knowledge, so I could say, Pestles. I mean, you could roll depending on if you think you'd have found it in a book. Seabreeze, you'd probably potentially know some from the Faceless, as far as just knowing all different things. I'd say, I mean, honestly, you could all roll. There could be a reasoning for each of your characters to actually have some knowledge of the Dragonborn.
I'll roll for Thamor.
All right.
What might Thamor know?
I assume this to be like a history check, or
Yes.
more like a. Okay.
I don't know what he has in history. What is he?
Oh,
what is his
that's
stat
sad.
in history?
I
got a 9 on the die.
Thamor. Where are you, Thamor? Thamor has a history of 1.
All right, so
What?
Yes.
yeah, he's
As
got
in
a
a +1.
He's got a +1 to int.
Oh, okay. For a second, my brain thought like the entire combined score was 1.
Ew, -1.
Okay, so Freya, Seabreeze, and almost said Marani, and
Wow.
Hildy all got fairly similar roles there. You know
Blame the
from
drugs.
the rumors you've heard, Hildy, it's maybe a little bit different from you, but for Freya and Seabreeze, I guess I'll go this way. You know the rumors from the Order of the White Leaf because that's kind of what they spread. Rain, my brain today is dead. Hildy, you know a little bit more as far as you know the propaganda that exists because obviously Jerag works to not care about the propaganda. You didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to what the Orzhov brought around for it, but you know that they are a nomadic, race that live within the Sun Waste that call it the Golden Clutch more so than they call it the Sun Waste. And you know that there's a central grouping to them that, although they are nomadic, they don't really fight with each other. And they seem to be kind of coordinated in their nomadic moves. But beyond that, there's not a lot of history to them from there. And then Freya, stories were passed down to you from the circles when you traveled along, kind of knowing about the Dragonborn. Perhaps you picked up some from talking to those from Jerarag, perhaps even just those in the Druidic Circle kind of talked about him. Because any talk of like older races or even older magics would stem conversations of the Dragonborn that, you know, if there was only one dragon, how did this race come to be? It's been an odd point of conversation. But again, you know the propaganda, but the information the White Leaf puts out, that gets around very quick. But you also know a bit about the fact that, again, they're very nomadic. They don't seem to have a lot of interactions with people. You've never really met them personally. But... And Seabreeze, from your contractual stuff, again, you know everything the White Leaf has poured out. You know their nomadic tendencies. You know that there have been very few contracts ever put out against the Dragonborn. And even fewer that, like, there are none that operate within the Faceless. Though, we'll say that you also have a slight knowledge as well, maybe from overhearing or maybe talking to Echo at some point, that they are very curious about the Dragonborn. He seems to allude occasionally to some ties of things they know, but as any conversation with that, like if you try to pry into it, Echo immediately quiets up and will basically tell you nothing.
You mean, I'm not sure I fully understood that. So, Echo is secretive about information about the Dragonborn, or
Yes.
openly thinks that they don't know a lot, and that's obvious?
No, he's secretive about it.
Okay, so there's something he's hiding.
A little bit, potentially. He knows something, and he basically kind of brushes it off as it's not information relevant that he wants to give out. But there is some interest for sure with him and the Dragonborn.
And I know that it's a number of tribes, right? There's no
Yes.
central...
Yeah, you know there's a number of tribes, you know they're nomadic, you know they're mostly divvied on scale color. And you know that they are, like I said, very few contracts ever go out against them because there's not very many that roam the world.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Alright, so
Hildy would just, in response to what he said, would just say, I don't put much stock in Sunbreak propaganda. And Ordril, if you were looking in her direction, you might notice that she is throwing you a very pointed stare.
Not a blink.
Well, good. First thing you should know is that it's all shite. The second thing you should know is you're probably not going to get nearly as many answers from anyone else in my tribe like you're getting from me.
He talks as much as he drinks.
And that's a lot.
It is a failing of his.
And it is the reason why I am the one here and they're all in their tents.
I thought it was because they could not stand you.
He kind of just gives you a grin and a glower in the same glance.
Well, regardless, it's nice to meet you.
And a pleasure to be escorting you all. Now, if you're ready to leave, the desert does, well, it sucks any time of the year, so I'm good whenever you're ready to go.
you have a caravan established.
Yes, we got our goods. They've been sitting around for a while. I've been meaning to bring them back. But I've told them to hold up on personal reasons, and I can only hold them for so long.
What is the temperament of the clans?
Same as always. Brooding. Though, he kind of slides over to you and kind of like gives you a like he's trying to whisper but not really whispering.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard there's been some finally progress in certain areas. They say the temple is opened up again.
What of its guardians?
I suppose that's what your party is going to find out, isn't it? As the prophecies once said, and so it shall be.
Excuse me, would you care to share with the rest of the class here? Bring us up to speed.
Yeah, like who's this prophet?
And why should I tell you?
It would just be nice to know what we're walking into. I would imagine that you wouldn't care to walk into something without being well informed.
And what do Dragonborn drink?
Is that what Seabreeze is actually asking, or is that just out of
Yeah.
character?
Yep.
Well, let's see. To answer your questions, you'll learn when you get there, as there are too many prying ears here to divulge such things. Also because it's more fun that way. Question 2, I don't remember. Question 3, ale, beer, spirits, and anything with alcohol.
Mm.
Don't compare us to the dwarves, though.
Never.
Good.
Pestles have a small question.
He looks at you. He looks at you with disdain as you talk.
Is cobalt currents in clutch wastes? Or golden waste? No, is
Any self-respecting one shouldn't be. I forgot you were there.
Festal swaps over to Draconic. And why would Coldbolts not want to be into a place of the golden waste then?
You see his eyes narrow, and as you speak in Draconic, and he responds to you in Kaim, and he seems very agitated. You dare mock our tongue.
I do not mock. I learn. It's what all kobolds in Aldmir use.
Be mindful of using such in the presence of the elders.
Are elders the reason why there are no kobolds in these ways? I imagine.
The reason there are no kobolds in the waste is they are not fit. You are a scum of our ancestors. I take out of pride, but ask me no more.
Scum, not scum. I do thank you for at least answering, and I will try to stay out of your way.
Good.
And a little bow, and then Pistol steps behind Odril with a little smile.
He just kind of keeps glaring, and then he kind of steps back and claps his hand. Right, now the rest of our esteemed guests, are you ready to depart?
Odril turns to the rest of the group. Just eyebrow raised. We can leave today. Or if you wish to rest and leave on the morning.
There's token on there.
Either way, it will be hot.
Oop.
I have no desire to take any longer than we have to. I'm prepared to leave right now.
As am I.
Same here. The sooner the better. It's not like the desert's gonna magically cool off to a tundra anytime soon.
Kaiju sea breeze.
Yes, I will inform the caravan that we will be leaving. You are there as security detail. Got it? That's the story anyway. Except for you. You're dead weight.
As he just stares down Pestles.
Pestles blinks, thinks. He fishes out his greater healing potion and offers it to him.
He just kind of hisses. I take no such thing from you.
Okay, let's
let it-
get you
At
over
this-
to
At this
the-
point,
Yeah,
you see Odril actually puts a hand on the
shuffling.
potion, pushes it down,
Yeah.
and looks to Vorthax and speaks in. It's halting, but it is intelligible, draconic.
Hmm.
I will speak with them. Please gather the caravan. We shall meet you at the southeast gate.
He kind of looks at you with a smile, like a bit of a smile, but you kind of sense the, I guess, insincerity of it very quickly.
And you see,
Right.
as he finishes speaking, he inclines his head in a respectful tone, or a respectful gesture.
Right, of course. I will go get them set up. We leave in the hour.
And he turns and kind of dusts off his cloak and tosses a few coins to the bartender before heading out.
At this, Odril will turn and look at the others and, speaking brusquely, we are traveling to a place few of Mir have been to. Vorthox is unique among the Dragonborn of the Wastes. The others will not be so kind. Speak only when spoken to. And he turns to Pestles. And do not use their tongue unless you know to give difference.
Pestles think need disguise then. If
We have no
Pestles be
time.
kobold. Yes,
We have no time.
magics. Yeah. Yes, fine. Go!
Come. It would be wise to gather water before we leave.
Oh, that's right.
And Odril will head to, maybe one of the nearby wells or something and fill up the water skins that he has.
Okay.
Probably buy a few extras.
Seabreeze would like to buy strong booze. If there's any around.
There is some pretty strong booze, so
The good stuff. Really strong.
how much are you trying to take with you?
Like maybe 2/5, if that makes sense.
2/5 of like a barrel, or
No. Like when you go to the liquor store, you buy a fifth of vodka or whatever. It's like a half a liter, I think.
Okay.
So a bottle's worth of very strong booze.
A fifth, a handle, whatever your slang is for a bottle of booze.
All
Two
right.
of
Yep, I
those.
was 2 of those, so that would be like 4 gold total.
Done.
And it is very like thick, viscous, foul-smelling alcohol, but it is your nose curls.
Perfect.
Your whiskers like kind of like stand on end smelling this stuff. This
Curl
is
back a
designed
little
for
bit.
Yeah, even the bartender who's giving this to you stuff is kind of giving you a very like worried look as you're asking for their strongest stuff, as this is stuff designed for some of the monstrous races.
Out of character, this is the stuff that Andros got trashed on.
Oh, great.
Yep.
This'll work on Dragonborn, right?
Oh no.
Again, out of character, they're the ones who make the stuff.
Yep, and this is watered down for what that guy was saying.
Oh, if I can, at all have a chance of a charisma roll or something like that to get like the not watered down version of it.
Well, I meant watered down as in the stuff the traditional Dragonborn are drinking. That's even more fucked up than this. That's what he was saying.
They don't sell that stuff.
They don't sell it. It doesn't get exported out of the camp.
Gotcha.
I wanted to talk to Absinthe real quick, but he decided to leave right as I was going to ask. But I guess it's a text conversation thing. Pestil's just thinking that maybe seeming would be a good idea on himself. And he's going to ask the warlock to hurt himself to do it.
Yeah, but a random newcomer, right?
Fuck, that's right. Oh well.
Yes, we should
Someone
have
have a
thought of how
disguise
much
kit?
they hate kobolds before we got here.
Yeah.
And Odril did, again, when you said, well, magic, Odril responded again with, no time for disguises. We go.
Because
in a way,
already...
he gave the impression that when you said with magic, he got more stern about that. As in, don't try it.
Does anybody have a disguise kit, or should... I'm not gonna worry about it, I guess. It's already...
Just some casual racism. For a specific reason.
Odril gathers water and meets Vorthax. Vorthax at the southeast gate.
Yep. So, at the southeast gate, Vorthax is kind of waiting, slightly impatiently, but you notice he's got a decently sized caravan that seems to be waiting on his go, with about 4 different wagons and a bunch of horses and such, or creatures tied to them basically to go through the desert. Different various goods are piled in a lot of these. However, there is one in the back that is designed for you to sit in basically when you alternate shifts as a guardsman for the caravan. But you notice that the caravan does have a pretty fair retinue of guards already.
And it's a varied lot. It's not just Dragonborn. It's
a very
I was
lot,
going to
yes.
say, yes, they're all Dragonborn, but not. So it's like humans and...
It's a mix. There are some half-orcs, there's a couple of humans. It seems like a standard caravan crew.
All martial, weapon. No, do we see any caster looking types?
You notice some scholarly looking ones sitting in the middle, kind of middle of the caravan on one of the wagons.
2 or 3?
I'd say 2. Kind of sitting together, you see them kind of prepping. They're going through a big book, a spell book. Kind of, you see them kind of looking over. A few of them talking to each other. They seem to be in the midst of prepping spells.
I will go over and sit not directly next to one of them, but if there's a little circle that they're sitting in, I'll try to.
Well, they're sitting on they're the ones on the caravan, driving that wagon.
They're in their own wagon. Okay.
Yeah, they're at the front. I mean, you can walk alongside them, or you could try to sit in that wagon. But they're at the front of the wagon, driving it basically.
Oh
or
well,
going to be driving it.
Yeah, if I'll walk alongside that for a while and listen to them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you can go ahead and roll me a investigation check to see if you want to pick up on what they're talking about. But
should be pretty good.
oh, by the way, the name of the ale you got was Dragon Buster.
18.
Dragon Buster.
Yep, Dragon Buster Ale. And with the 18, yeah, they are mostly just discussing, like, they're kind of getting their spells together. They're talking about having spells prepped to ward off cold, ward off any storms and stuff like that. They're basically just talking about what spells each of them is prepared so that they cover their bases.
That's actually useful information. What are they preparing for? Cold?
They've got a couple of, like, produce heat and such like that, like some little cantrips to make sure they can start fires if need be when the temperature drops.
Okay.
One of them is going to have a hut prepared for himself, but that the other is going to join in because
Excellent.
they can. But some other things too, like they have. I mean, you don't catch all of what they're prepping, but they're mostly just discussing create water should they need it. They have a couple offensive spells.
These two are
in case
human?
they were attacked. Yes,
Okay.
they're human. But yeah, it's just kind of a variety of spells they're talking about. Nothing crazy high level, but just a decent variety of things that they seem to be kind of prepping for both, like, defensive and some utilitarian for their trek through the desert. You also get the idea, or you get the indication or feeling that they're not stopping with, like, they're going further than you guys are. They're not stopping at the camp and staying there. They're going to be progressing through the desert. They're in it for a very long haul.
All right. Did I hear alarm in any of their preps?
No.
Oh, well, that is good information. Thank you.
Any other prep questions before caravan sets out?
Nope.
No.
Again, Odril's very quiet. People ask him a question, he might respond, but
As you take up your posts around the caravan, they set off. You get a few, curious looks from those of the caravan, but for the most part, they're kind of quieted when they see Vorthok kind of eyeing them as you go along. As for Vorthok, he seems perfectly comfortable, just like sauntering through the desert, walking his own pace when the times he's out. As for the desert itself, like I said, it's winter on the outside world, but the desert still is pretty warm. It's not scorching hot, so that's a bit of a relief. However, the nights are frigid. So, I would like you guys to we're going to kind of hand wave some of the travel, since you are traveling with a caravan that's fairly well equipped. It's not exactly a treacherous journey through these wastes. It is a bit of a standard path. But I'd like you guys to make some survival checks to see how you guys kind of hold up.
Would Flash of Genius be applicable?
Sure.
doesn't Pestles also have that cube?
Yes, I do. Thank you for reminding me of what's I
In your own
Yeah.
inventory?
yeah,
Cube?
the thermal cube. Yes, it allows smokeless heat and where was it? It's a 3-inch cube providing 95-degree Fahrenheit dry heat within 15 feet.
Oh, nice.
So if there's any magic that can.
And you make use of that cube?
Yes. Especially for people that are keeping watch.
Yep. I mean, if you use it with any of the caravan members, they are thankful for it. However, you do notice that in using it, Vorthok just is scoffing at you as he sees you do it, and you notice that as he almost intentionally seems to like make a show of scoffing as you're using it, and then breathing fire, like a small amount of fire, to warm his hands and walking off.
What a prick.
Okay. How many times does he do this along the way?
Basically, he'll do it every night you pull the cube out.
The first night.
No.
He's not being subtle about this, is he? I mean, it would be Hildy would have
No.
clocked that, right? Okay.
He's not being subtle about his dislike of Pestles.
Okay. I mean, she's not going to say anything, but she is going to keep close to Pestles just in case he decides that it's going to turn physical. She's sticking close by.
I mean, you don't get any hostile, and you can roll me a.
She doesn't
insight
care.
if you'd like. No, I know. I'm just telling you. If you want, you can roll insight as well. But even just from body language, he doesn't give any hostile vibes off. He's more just disgusted.
Somatic.
Well, that was a natural one.
All right. I don't know what Hildy thinks. Maybe Hildy's just really pissed or high on something.
Perhaps
Question,
both.
is the issue
Probably both.
What color is his flame?
Huh?
What color is the flame that he produces?
It's fire. It's a red flame.
Okay. On one of the nights, Pestles is letting the intrusive thoughts win. He's gonna turn the flame blue.
It is not a non-magical flame.
Fuck.
It is a breath attack, technically.
Is the issue really at night? It's just going to be super cold.
I mean, that is a problem.
I mean, we could solve that problem. We have a hut.
I have a cube. It's tiny.
We literally could be in a comfortable hut all night long. That will not be a problem.
It gives us goodwill with the rest of the caravan.
I mean, weren't there mages in the caravan prepping huts?
But this prevents them. They don't have to use magic if they're around it. I mean, there's a safety aspect of being inside a magic hut, but there's also practical use of a tool that frees up a spell slot.
Here, I'll roll survival and I'll probably. I got -1. This will go great. 13.
I mean, you can use the hut if you'd like. I just need to know what you guys are. How
I'm
you
going
guys
to be
are playing
making
into
the
it.
hut. I don't want to be uncomfortable.
I'm using the thermal cube. The intrusive thoughts don't win. Is non-magical, magical.
I just
Yeah.
have a question because being as the child of the sea, is it the same temperature as the sea? Because I do have resistance to cold, so I was just curious.
That is a good question. I don't know what the temperature of the sea would be at different levels compared to the air temperature of a freezing desert. We'll say the resistance does kick in just because it's D&D, and I don't feel like doing the science on that right now.
I was just, curious. That's all.
You're comfortable. It's
We'll do
a
the
little
science when it
breathless.
comes to figuring out if we can explode a tunnel to collapse it, but we won't do the science for
So
temperature.
that's engineering,
thermodynamics.
and that's partial engineering, and I'm partially an engineer. Enjoy it. This is
What, thermodynamics
meteorology
doesn't
meets
count?
something? I don't know. Well, it's not just thermodynamics. It's like, fine. All right. What is the temperature?
I am being
Bottom of the
facetious. I
sea.
don't expect you to actually.
Nope, I'm looking it
It's
up.
magical. It could be whatever you want it to be.
And so
Also, I
the
highly
drinking
doubt
begins.
that Freya can be at the bottom of the sea because she would be crushed by the pressure.
The average
What-
temperature at the bottom of the ocean is 31 to 37 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 to 3 degrees Celsius.
Interesting.
Nearly freezing.
Yeah, desert temperature in the winter.
Colder than that.
Can
Let's
be.
see, between -2 and 4 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it can get chilly.
So yeah, while you're not, it's cold. How about that? You're cold. You're not freezing, but you're cold, which is a new sensation for you.
I also like this idea that Absinthoth is casting a hut to keep himself comfortable during the night and is not in the desert during the day. He just disappears for the day.
Into the vessel, yes. We'll just have. Give it
Who's
to a
holding your
responsible person. See, that's the real hard part.
He just throws it in the back of a caravan and hopes no one notices.
Could you imagine if he he gets thrown out who cares about this little weird pendant
Just-
in the back?
Oh,
Random
what's
guy
this piece
notices.
of junk? Yeet.
Also, the fact that you're hired on as a guard. Where'd the guard go? He's never around.
He's a surprise.
He's there during the morning and the evening.
He's a
Not in the
surprise
middle of the
mechanic.
He's-
He's what the bandits get when the sense of pride and accomplishment when they finally get there. Then there's this void-wielding warlock that pops out. that they weren't accounting for.
Oh.
It's a
All right,
very
who all-
disappointing Jack in the Box.
Who all is staying in the hut? Because if you're rolling, I am for the most part. Who's all staying in the hut? Who's toughing it out? Who's taking cube route? Who's
I'll tough it out.
Absinthoth is taking the tiny hut. He will make his own hut with Blackjack.
Hildy
No, there's
is
no.
cubing.
Blackjack
with
and
Pestilence.
Hildy's.
Blackjack and Hildy's.
Hilda's-
Oh, no.
Wow, dude.
Odril is out with the Dragonborn and other with Vorthox and the other members of the caravan.
Seabreeze will try to stick with that group.
Stick with what?
The group that
Odril's group?
Odril
Odril?
just mentioned.
Okay, so you're toughing it out with the Dragonborn.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Did you roll your survival?
You're-
Oh,
you're-
but there it is. So there.
Odril rolled the worst.
Yeah.
Wait, never mind.
Then-
Let me roll for Thamor. Natural 17, so whatever his survival
Wow.
is plus that.
Oh, good.
I mean,
For anyone who looks chilly, Seabreeze will offer some of the brew.
oh, I thought you could say Seabreeze is gonna offer to curl up.
Like
a cat.
Where are people's minds today?
And I don't know, fucking
Bacon
no.
biscuits.
Anyway, and have you resummoned the golden bean at any point?
Oh,
Where
that's
is
an
that?
excellent question.
Because golden bean is definitely
Probably-
not going to be happy here.
Probably, the estimate is that it's going to take, 3-4 days to get to where we're supposed to be going?
Yep.
On the night before the last travel day, she'll summon him.
Okay. Just wanted to check, because otherwise you'd be getting an earful about every night about how cold the golden bean was and how he was going to demand access to the hut.
Oh, well, he can go in the hut if
Absinthoth will
lets
allow
him in. Yeah.
Anyway, but that's
Not
fine.
At this point, as long as it doesn't annoy me.
Oh,
So yeah.
wait, am I missing?
So
Oh, Odril. That's right.
Odril rolled a 10 because my dice.
yes, even though you're not Andros, it still follows you.
Or Jethor.
Odril is not necessarily comfortable, but he's not speaking to that at all. He is not comfortable, but he knows to not say anything.
Okay. No. What I'm going to have occur for Odril and Pestles, you both suffer basically exhaustion for this period in time. It'll last for a while until some decent warm bed rest can be obtained. But even with the cube, even with your kind of prep, it's just wearing on your spirit. Like beginnings of frostbite kind of occur. Like it's not a good trek for you two. The rest of you managed to succeed and kind of stave it off. Absinthoth, it's a little bit of a mix. You're not you're unhappy, but because you're in the hut, you're not really suffering any of the ill effects. But it's not a comfortable journey, I should say. But
Should have asked Dan for that mansion.
Do I notice the signs during the morning when we start off the new day?
the signs of frostbite.
Not like for Pestles and Audril being exhausted.
I mean, you would probably notice it amongst them and probably some of the other members of the caravan. Like it's wearing on them, and you do kind of notice, like, see that exhaustion on them, but it wouldn't be like a medical exhaustion, like any.
Because I was thinking of casting Greater Restoration each day if I see exhaustion on both of them.
Oh. Well, I guess that works too.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean,
Well,
to be fair, that's money.
Well, I have money.
Yeah, it's not free.
You can
Yeah.
twin it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
What
all right,
does this
yeah.
look
Well,
like? Do you
What
give
is
him like
it?
pills? I mean, because it's diamond dust, right?
Yeah, I would probably have it like there is a little diamond dust mixed in with some water and it flowing around them, and it kind of like soaks into their skin, which rejuvenates their energy.
it's better than the idea than I had. So
Oh.
Blow-
I'll do it.
glowing smoke.
I thought she's gonna rub rub her hands in the thing and just give him like a big old slap and just say, "Wake up."
It's not like that.
There's just a mark of like a silver handprint on their face, but they just feel better for it somehow.
I just realized I have free enhanceability. Free asterisk mark.
Dude.
Bruh.
Dude.
Hildy was on your side. Now Hildy's giving you a disgusted look.
I can't tell you everything that's on your sheet, Zerg.
I know.
Odro will if Freya's doing that, Odro will turn to her and he just nods his head in deference, and about all you hear is a grunt, but he is appreciative.
She just nods her head in return and goes about being quiet and just being attentive to the party.
Is there any conversations you want to have with Vorthok on this journey, or is it kind of just going to be a quiet ride? Like or I should say silent ride over to...
If
I
no
mean,
one
how
else talks to
adamant
him,
is
I
he
will.
about... I just wanted to ask how adamant he was about not sharing information until we actually got there. I mean, now that we're away from the inn.
I mean, he shared what he knows. He knows that we were meeting with Vorthox, and we were heading into the desert to a temple.
Oh, no,
Outside of that,
I meant Vorthox.
Ah, gotcha.
He dances around the questions, basically, when it comes to specifically the stuff for the Dragonborn.
Seabreeze would definitely try to sit down with him and develop rapport for just, trying to figure out if she can get him to loosen up a little bit with the booze and talking about the different tribes would probably be the icebreaker.
Okay, go ahead and roll me
Oh boy.
roll me persuasion at advantage, then,
Oh.
if you're giving him the alcohol.
Terrible rolls. That's 8 plus nothing. 8.
An 8.
Fucking terrible.
Ooh.
This is not
I
my
don't know.
strong suit.
It's okay. So you try to bribe him. You sit down and try to kind of loosen his lips with the alcohol. However, as he also mentioned, he's pretty tolerant of strong alcohols and says this is weaker than what he's usually been used to. So it doesn't really loosen his lips so much as... I mean, you try to ask, and again, he does his bit where he kind of dances around it, but
Yeah.
he opens up and he's chatting openly with you, kind of like he did with Odril.
Okay. That's good enough.
So
As long as he's
seems,
not completely suspicious, I'm like, okay, great.
He's not suspicious. It really, like, any oddity you really get from him is anytime he seems to interact with Pestles.
Mm-hmm.
To everyone else in the party, he's pretty cheery.
Poor Pestles.
Pestles is doing his best to ingratiate himself to the rest of the caravan. He has a free thermal cube. He can do great food and water. He's trying to make it so that he does things that the spellcasters.
The rest of
if
the
they
caravan
did
is loving you. Like they're enjoying it. They kind of find they find your mannerisms, like they're hanging, like they all are open with you and talking with you. And you kind of learn about their trek. They're traveling through the Golden Clutch, actually on their way to Jerarag, after stopping by the tribal site.
I want to ask them about anything they know. Oh no, that would be bad. Never mind. I would want to ask them about stories about the desert. Just like any bits of folk tales, their own travels that they've experienced before. Just like
Roll me either like investigation or like persuasion.
Let's do persuasion. Just a normal roll. 12.
Okay.
Can I flash for genius that?
Can you? Does it affect
I think it's just any ability check.
Any ability checks. So
yeah.
Or saving throws. It's pretty powerful.
I
That
love
it
Flash of
is.
Genius.
So maybe it's the exchange of like ways that he's uses artifice to create certain spell effects, but then also asking in return, "Hey, can you tell me about this or that?" Or otherwise facilitating a worthy exchange of equal value of information, and that would boost that to a 17.
Okay. I'll get to that in a second. Seabreeze, you're actually drinking liquor?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got.
You are knocked out for a full day.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, okay. I guess that's not a
I'll
con
bring her
save.
back up with greater restoration.
Seabreeze, as you drink this viscous like liquid, at first it kind of it's thick. It tastes kind of odd. It burns the entire way down.
Oh.
This stuff your mind just goes blank. It just completely knocks you cold.
Yikes.
Yeah, this stuff sucks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that
If you
Andrews
want the
was able
metaphor,
to stay
this
standing at all.
it's a con of 25 to save against this. And this is
Oh,
the
okay.
Jeez.
Okay.
it's heavy stuff. Like it is.
The only reason why Andros can stomach it is he's got resistance to poison. And he's part water, so that helps him out.
Yeah. Though, however, I will say, as a minor amusement, you do get a little bit more of a Varthok's respect for you actually drinking this stuff.
Yeah, imagine the roleplay of that. I won't go into it, but it would have been, you know, something like trying to share it and then having, you know, the thing in her hand and going to drink some, and like the reaction might have been like, what are you doing? Just it's too late.
Well, he wouldn't have tried to stop you. He was just raised the
really?
equivalent of
Okay.
raising his eyebrow and just kind of watched you down it. And then as you're he would just make like kind of a snide remark of I've never seen any other race take it so lightly. And just kind of watch you with like amused interest as the effects slowly take you over and you just pass out and he just kind of starts guffawing over you.
Okay.
In the morning, Odril will cleanse the poison from you with 5 points of lay on hands.
Well, that's nice.
And he'll just look at you. See him. He looks at you, and there's just it's not a smile of any sort, but you know, over the the little bit of sparring that they did over the journey, he knows one that Seabreeze is very competent, both with blade with her blade especially, and this is, in a way, you can almost sense that. He just picks you up and is like, "We need you to be ready. The desert is a dangerous place."
She doesn't say anything and is embarrassed. Just nods.
Is 3 somehow uses of the lesser restoration or greater restoration, unless you twin cast and get an extra one off that way. But
Yeah, there's
for
one twin
keeping-
cast, and then I can cast it up to 6th level, so
I'm just saying in terms
Yeah.
of gold cost and just knowing how many times those cast. But
yep,
It says for-
I took down the
Okay.
diamonds I have right now, so
I rolled a 19 on my insight check, so I think Odril sees Seabreeze's slight embarrassment, and he just kind of pats her on the shoulder.
Oh, it's more than slight.
Yeah.
She's passed out on the
But
ground the whole night.
he pats her on the shoulder and says, "Everyone. It happens to everyone who drinks it.
Maybe I should not
not-
have bought so much.
It is okay. Morthax, well, he appreciated it in his own way." And then he heads off.
And going back to Pestles and the persuasion check. So from the caravan, I mean, they have their own spread of rumors about the Dragonborn. It's always a interesting point among them. Most of the caravans that ever come by don't get to really stop at. They come by, drop whatever wares off, and are pretty much asked to leave. They don't even really get escorted in. As far as Tales of the Desert, I mean, there's plenty of fables around the desert. Tales of treasures lost, tales of Tales of treasures lost, tales of like apparitions that seem to follow people around the deserts. But I can give you a bit more of that later as far as some of the, I can write that in the lore doc as some of the rumors of the desert.
Do any of them happen to be shadow people?
There
Like
are some
Amar,
references to
Pestle?
shadowy people, but whether or not they refer to as the shadow plane is speculation.
Okay. Not that they'd know specifics, or even
Yes.
Pestles.
I mean, to anyone that would see them, they would describe as, yes, like shadowy apparitions that follow people or such, but whether or not they're shadow plane denizens or ghosts or specters or just a horror tale to tell other people that, ooh, ghosts. Yeah. All right, so
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Can I get one thing in real quick?
sure.
Okay, just one of the nights that they're traveling. Hildy, like the culmination of like all of that, having to leave Andros behind, all of this bullshit travel, being in the desert, and possibly emboldened by the fact that she has her drugs back. At at one point is just gonna look over at Ordril, and she like completely unable to help herself. She just walks up to him and, "Are you proud to be a part of this? Just doing your mistress's bidding after she threw her own blood to the wolves."
You see him. He's sitting near his small tent. He's got a stool, and he's reading by the little firelight that's there. He's reading. He takes the little spectacles off his nose and looks at her. "I take great pride in serving the family of Roshan. Yes."
You'll have to explain that to me. What exactly is there to be proud of? You know what she did to him, right? He's Roshan too, isn't he?
She did not do anything to him.
No, she just made it so that his father would. And I've seen what his father is capable of.
A shadow kind of falls over Odril's face at that. Yes. He is a harsh man.
That is putting it lightly. I've seen what he's done to him. His own son.
He just kind of blinks at that and continues. Was there something else you had to ask?
No, I don't suppose there is. Just gives a sigh and a little bit of a roll of her eyes, and then she just walks off.
He grunts as she walks off and eventually goes back to his reading.
So the journey, while very cold and harsh environment-wise, surprisingly doesn't seem to yield any conflict. It's quiet. The winds howl in the desert, but all around in the darkness, I mean, some of the tales the caravan seems to tell might cause you to trick your eyes, cause tricks to your eyes, or maybe you kind of think you see things out of the shadow of your eyes. Denizens seeming to walk along the ridges out of line of sight. But nothing comes out to accost you or bother the caravan. And as it gets closer and closer off in the distance, you see a bunch of tents and huts of sorts being off in the distance set up. And though far off in the distance, Vorthek announces that this is where they will part ways with the caravan, and motions for you and your group to follow him along on foot from that point. It's a cold march then, beyond that, after saying your goodbyes to the caravan as they leave, and you head over to the encampment of the Blue Scales.
Ooh.
Do we come in from where do we come in from?
Southbound, where
Got it.
Vorthek is.
Nope, that's not who I'm playing right now.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Oh, what the hell was that?
Oh
My
my.
hand is broken. Why?
Just drag and drop
The
the
Spectre,
old
kill
token
it.
onto.
Fuck.
That's an actual token?
I think it's the new unknown character.
What the
Roll
heck? Yeah, your
initiative.
What
tokens.
is-
Why is yours broken?
I
Looks
don't
like-
know.
Just
Um,
re-upload
Drag
your...
the old art onto the avatar, the top one, when you're editing the token.
I did.
Did you wait for it to fully update?
Mm-hmm.
Is our internet being fucky again?
Maybe.
Do you have
Oh.
anything in the token, like temp token or whatever it is?
No,
it just disappeared off the character sheet too, in terms of your token. Now shows a Spectre, like on the
Yeah,
list.
I'm trying to re-upload it. See, what the hell? That is not.
Yeah, you should have the avatar and then the default token.
the fuck was that?
Freya has ascended her form. She has no need for petty flesh.
Bro, I'm killing it.
Healing? I'm killing. What?
Being
Stab.
stalked
Come
by
on, bring
You
shadow
can
people.
certainly try. Mortal.
The sword just goes through. Oh shit. Runs away.
Cannot outrun death, little one.
I can try.
Nope. I literally uploaded my token again. I'll see if I put it in the temporary one to see if that works.
Rip.
Otherwise, I'm still getting that shader guy.
You want to shoot me the token and see if I can upload it?
I can walk over there quick. See what's going on.
Very strange.
Heck.
Nope. Here, I'll send this to you, Salty, because for some reason, I put it in both. I
What?
re-uploaded it twice, and it's still not working. Mm-mm.
is going on? If you shoot me, I can see if I can throw it up there and see if it's maybe just internet being weird. But I can see the token. It's so weird.
Yeah, and it's like it's showing up down at the bottom over her name too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you tried to drag it on, Salty?
That's
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. If I drag the
page,
token on,
Oh.
it does the same thing.
That is weird.
If I
Yeah,
drag the token on.
Refreshing the page, seeing if I owe you upload it, and see if that works.
Doesn't really matter if I refresh because it doesn't change. It's not like a server. It does make me wait because roll 20. Alright, why are you a phantom? What in the actual world is going on with Freya? Is it any other token or is it just Freya's token? No, Marani exists. Hilda exists. Freya exists. Evian exists. Why doesn't Freya exist?
Oh,
There she
now it
is.
works.
What? Oh,
I fixed
there,
it. I don't know what happened. I just refreshed the page. I had to use the selected token, even though it's just like, I don't know. But I'm here. There we go.
Hey.
Slightly terrifying. That was supposed to be an Act 4 reveal.
Oh no.
It's actually the Spectre of Death the entire time.
I knew I should stab it. See, I'm way ahead of you.
But you'd have the entire dwarven crew against you.
Oh. Oh boy.
I guess before I get
Anyway.
too far,
Oh, Bean is here.
Aslos would
Wait,
like to cast
Bean is here.
a gift of alacrity to everyone.
Oh, right, yeah, Bean would be here if you summoned him.
Hey, we all have gift of alacrity.
Oh, it's two
Yay.
Beans. Oh shit.
That's
No,
too much for the world to handle.
The world explodes. Also, Thaymor's probably here.
Yeah. I don't know if it matters too much at the moment, but we'll toss him in there. And he's still in disguise form.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think you gotta
Whatever.
delete the default
Yeah.
token. And leave the avatar.
We'll leave him as is for now. It's stupid sexy Thaymor.
Paul
anyway.
and his luscious locks.
Just make sure. Bean
Anyway.
stays away.
Vorthak leads you over to the camp where several blue-scaled dragonborn are kind of going about their day. A mix of, you see them prepping food, kind of carrying things around the camp. At the center, you see a large, kind of burly dragonborn with one blind eye, wielding a large axe, accompanied by a seems to be a bit smaller, very caster, obviously looking build of sorts, carrying a large staff, kind of eyeing you guys as you come in even before you really step over the threshold. And Vorthak just kind of walks ahead of the group.
Honored Elder, I have brought the ones as mentioned in the prophecy. I am sure they have many questions for you, and as I have promised, I have told them nothing. Am I free to go return?
You see the two look over your group kind of with a very long gaze, kind of unflinching. Yes, you may return. Come, travelers. We have things to discuss, and I'm sure you have many questions. And he turns and kind of opens the tent, kind of ushering you inside. And Vorthak just turns to you, Ordril.
Well, it was a pleasure, friend, but this is where again we part ways.
Yeah, here's too stuffy for my tastes.
Farewell. Kind sends to you.
And to you as well. May the clutch watch over you.
And as he saunters off, he gives one last kind of look over to Pestilus.
As for you, mind your manners.
You should be happy they're letting you here. He clicks his tongue and starts marching back off into the desert.
Shake that guy.
Hildy flips him off as he walks away.
Racist.
If he dies
Yes,
and not
yes.
have health
Come this
outcome,
way,
not
come this
Scott's
way.
fault. Yep.
Do not dally. We have a lot to discuss.
Vessels isn't going forward.
Odro will step forward. Sorry, I'm getting the. There we go.
As he kind of gathers you around again. The one they seem to point to as a chieftain just kind of opens up the tent, walks in and leaves the flap open. I don't really have a map for the inside of it, but inside is just a large... there's a campfire going in the center, keeping the tent warm, and several cushions lined around as though they were awaiting your arrival to speak. And he sits at the head of it with his retainer next to him. As he takes his seat, he kind of motions for you all to take seats around the blazing fire.
Odro will be the first to take a seat.
Take a seat. The big one kind of sternly looks over all in attendance. Has a bit of a grunt. You
Does that
sure
include-
these are the ones that was spoken of? They look a little weak.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, they're the ones I saw in my mind. Well,
She looks, the other Dragonborn looks over, kind of eyes stopping at you, Seabreeze.
you look a little different, though. Your sense is the same, but I assume that's not your real form.
Well, I never. He gives a smirk.
Would have fooled me any other day, but unfortunately for you, well, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to take it, you've been chosen of sorts. Against our better judgment.
Don't say that, Theathus. They are our honored guests. The ancestors have chosen them. We must respect that.
Chosen
Whether
us for what? What is this about?
Yes. I suppose you have many questions, being not at the clutch. My name is Sir Otheril. I am the leader of the Blue Scales. There are not many of us left. Roam these lands. The ones that do, we still protect our ancient traditions. And it seems this time it brings in outsiders yet again. These. What are your names?
I am Odril of House Roshan.
Ah, yes. I have seen your face before. It was some
Leader.
time ago. You were accompanied by a different one before, weren't you not?
Yes.
A tiefling of sorts.
He no longer travels to the Sun Wastes as he did in his younger days.
A shame. Do not control those who were once chosen. And his eyes kind of start darting over the rest of you. Or I should say his eye, seeing as one is blind.
Brunhilde Lightfoot.
Yes. The one who embodies the fiery spirit of an ancestor in such a diminutive form. You are a curious one indeed.
She just narrows her eyes at him.
He pays it no mind whatsoever.
I am Freya Lafrel.
The wisdom of the ancestors as they have chosen. Kind of gives you kind of a sidelong look. Again, such power in a diminutive form. Curious the world is.
Looking over at Pestles, Odro will speak for him. This one is a servant traveling with us. They need no name for you.
All must have a name. And he looks down at Pestles, and he just kind of lets out a bit of a sigh. I apologize. I imagine Vorthik gave you a hard time, little one.
Is the way of Vortex clan? Is
It's
the way
the
Pestil's
way of
boss?
the ancestors of old. He holds to old values while still climbing for new. An oddity even in our clan.
So like Pestils.
Perhaps. The distrust built over a century ago is hard to break. There are those even still in our clan that will give you much trouble if you let them. And as he says this, you even see the other Dragonborn next to him that he called Viarthas kind of glaring at you, but at the mention of that statement, he kind of averts his eyes a little bit, kind of acting as if he wasn't looking at you. It takes time to heal old wounds. Pray that you understand.
Pestils of Sialam clan. Was Kobold of Torst clan. But was given a name Pestil.
Unaware of this. I do welcome you here. Just be wary of the others. I can offer you protection, cannot offer you their support. Such is the nature of these things.
There's a curt nod.
His gaze moves over to Seabreeze.
I am Idrissa Pentagast.
liar through and through.
Ooh.
I can see by your stance you know how to wield the blades you hold. Fret not, I care not for what you say outwardly. For you are
Why
here
ask?
on the ancestors' judgment.
Then why ask?
Common courtesy.
Oh, do not waste such things on me.
Duly noted.
His eyes scan over to Thamor, who I imagine just says Thamor.
Hmm.
And they just exchange a stare. 1,000 fights and words exchanged between them in the utter silence, and his gaze moves on. And he looks down at the golden bean. What manner of creature are you? Well, I never.
Oh shit. This is my traveling companion.
I will have you know that I am the golden bee. The bringer of dawn, devourer of sunbeams, herald of the light.
Yes, yes.
And the
They
perfect
know.
companion.
Yes, yes. Very good. She pets him a little bit.
But familiar, I have not gone through my full title. He must know who I am.
They know. They are well aware now. They would not dare. It will be okay. Pat, pat.
The chieftain's head just cocks to the side a little bit. Amusing creature. And you. And he stares at Absinthos.
Abstaslavaya?
A noble, I presume. The title is such.
Arrogance? Yeah, that tracks.
You are the one who wields the thing that the ancestors feared. Do you still say sane? Curious.
No, I think I heard some read in a book that fear is the mind killer. Just give it its due dignity.
That will be left to be seen. It is not my place to judge. We will leave that to the ancestor.
You did sound a little bit judgmental in the earlier.
You dare question the chief?
No.
A boar can no bite. Truly a noble.
And as
Please.
he kind of sighs a little bit, Viathras chirps in.
Yes, well, now that pleasantries are done, I am Viathras, as you've heard. The shaman here, and if you will, my chieftain, it is time these outsiders do their duty and then leave. Very well, Viathras. Why don't you enlighten us then, if you are so eager to speak? You all are here because the great ancestor has given me a vision that has shown me that you are the ones that are taking his trial. A trial that has not been opened in several years. It is a rare occurrence, and you should all feel honored for this. Any questions?
what does this trial entail?
Well, that is what is up to the ancestor to judge you now, isn't it? The only inclination I have that I was given to ask was one of a simple question. What are your desires? What is your deepest desire, truly and sincerely? Take your time. I don't need your answer now. In fact, I probably don't really care about it. Answer that you must hold on and bring it with you when I take you tomorrow. This is but the first step to see if you're even worthy.
So wait, your ancestors told you that we are supposed to do the trial, but we have to prove that we're worthy of the trial that the ancestors said that we're going to take part in?
You have been chosen to try. Whether or not you are worthy to proceed is left to be determined, or if you're matured enough to actually proceed it, or if perhaps you're strong enough to even do it. You are not a dragonborn.
I would like to use some telepathic speech on Hildy. Say, don't let it get to your head. Just get it over with.
I almost had a heart attack. Okay.
Have you ever heard of trains?
Wait, no, don't remind him.
There was a brief moment where I thought it was going to be I try to talk to his head and pretend to be the ancestor. Honestly thought you were going to try
Not
that.
at me. But that would have been a great
Oh.
idea.
Oh no.
Just trying to encourage Hilda, you know. I want to get to you.
Is there any special gear or offerings we must bring for this trial?
All that I was told was for you to figure out what your desire is. Hold it close to your heart, or whatever nonsense that would be. For when I take you to the trial tomorrow, your choice could very well determine how it goes for you. I'll let you mull it over. We'll leave tomorrow, first thing at dawn.
See, Odril at this point inclines his head. Thank you, chieftain. Thank you.
I've brought you a gift.
Is that so?
She produces the second unopened bottle of fucking Rinkall or whatever the hell you sold.
As you kind of pull it out, Viarthros like lurches forward and takes it from you, kind of like suspiciously,
Ooh.
and kind of eyes it over, takes a
Oh.
whiff of it.
Yeah. Oh, he opens it. Okay.
Yep.
So if it had a seal, it's gone. Got it.
Yes. But he opens it and kind of sniffs it, like kind of looking at it. It's safe. And he hands it over. Chieftain kind of gives it a sniff, and you see a bit of a coy smile break his stern lips. Ah, yes. The brew that Vorthok is so enamored with in the human cities. He takes a bit of a gulp of it. A bit on the weaker end for my liking. I appreciate the offer. If you would like, I can show you real dragon ale.
If it is anything like that, I believe I should refrain.
Smart choice. The graves of those who have tried it before you are still here.
Yes, I wish to keep living.
Can I do an insight check?
On
That
Seabreeze
statement.
wanting to live, or the fact that
the
he...
statement of that there's graves of people that have actually
Yes.
tried this. Insight is that one.
You can tell it's more in jest than anything else. With a hint of, you never. But it's more in jest.
Pestles breathes a sigh of relief.
That topic aside, you can use one of the free tents that Virath will show you to lodge for the night. Should you need anything, you can come find me. The others in the camp are instructed to show you open hospitality. So, anything else that you all wish to discuss?
I just want to ask, why are you blue? No, you can't ask people why they're blue.
Oh my God, Seabreeze, you can't just ask people why they're blue.
Didn't he asked Andros why he was blue? Anyway. But, I mean, you can ask whatever you want.
Nope.
Could always ask one of the people around the camp instead of the chieftain.
Also true.
Pistols is vibrating with a question, but he knows it probably shouldn't open his mouth.
There is no further need for discussion. Then Viarthus will see you to your tent. I will see you in the morning for the trial. Pray that you succeed. The ancestor is not wrong in choice. To you whether you succeeded or not. With that, he kind of stands up, kind of gives a slight bow before Viarthus steps ahead. All right. Go ahead and follow me. I will take you to your tent for the night. Try not to muss it up, will you?
Odril inclines his head and follows Virathras.
Yarp.
He leads you to a tent that seems like it was put up a little while ago, but it's got several cots inside with sectioned off tarps so that you each have a little bit of privacy. And you notice that at kind of the footholds, there's a bit of burning coals that seem to be existing to keep the tent warm. This is where you'll stay. There'll be food made soon by the other members of the tribe. You are free to partake if you would like. If you would like to eat your own rations, you are free to do that as well. Any questions? Ask anyone but me. I have no time for the drills of outsiders. So as he says that, he starts heading off back to the tent, to the main tent.
Anything of note roasting on the spit in front of our tent?
Yep, there's a couple of dragon. I'll go ahead and move one of the other ones over. There's a dragonborn that seems to be intended, kind of roasting what seems to be a large hunk of meat from a creature that you wouldn't really be able to identify it at this state.
Is this a female dragonborn in front of me?
Yep. You're not a bard.
I'm not saying anything other than,
I know.
Jesus Christ, people.
However, yeah, the golden bean is salivating at the sight of this roasting meat, though.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought he would perch, but nope. It's perched on me, I guess.
He's perched on you. That's why I said he's perched on you, watching the spit, like watching the meat like on the spit go, and he's kind of salivating.
Hello. What is cooking here?
She kind of gives you a startled look, a little bit.
Ah, yes, you're one of the outsiders, yes?
Obviously, yes. Do you get many humans here in your camp?
Not many inside, no.
I feel privileged, but I'm curious what, again, you eat here. Such a desolate place.
It is desolate to those that do not know how to hunt in the ways of our ancestors. Many creatures lurk within the sands or in the caves around. This was once one of those creatures that our hunters brought back.
I'm assuming it tastes like chicken?
I do not know what this chicken is you speak of.
Sorry, astral chicken.
I don't know what astral chicken is either.
It's a bird of sorts. Sorry. It's a bird.
Like the vultures in the sky. They taste terrible.
Bit more tasty than that, yes. Does this creature have a name?
Dinner.
God damn it. Your people's dry humor angers me as she storms up.
We live in a desert.
Put a rub on it.
I wanted to just say dinner because that was good.
Sorry, I stole your thunder.
It's all good now.
There's no thunder in this conversation, Jesus. Pretty dry.
Came from a pack of jackals.
Was
roaming too close to the camp and has now ended up dinner.
My Tressum companion is very eager.
Take that as a compliment to the cooking.
And she kind of eyes the golden bean.
Such a cute little one. I will make sure he gets his fill.
Familiar? Thank this one for me.
Oh my god. Sorry. He's pleased.
The Dragonborn kind of cocks her head a bit curiously, and you see a bit of a smile.
I can't interact with Bean at all. I just devolve into hysterical laughter every time. Sorry.
Does this one, are you not its master?
It has. We have a unique relationship.
Yes, this one is my familiar. He does my bidding, and I grace him with my presence.
Meow, 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 meow.
Dragonborn, again, looks at you curiously. Well, outsiders are certainly strange. It is odd to see such a little one as the master in this relationship.
Not all things are as they seem, but suffice to say, we are both hungry.
Well, master and servant alike, you will be sure to provide.
She still has whatever is left of the bottle that she opened with what's his name the night before, so she offers some. Would you care to partake? I bought
Is
this
this
in
okay
the town.
with your master to be offering me such gifts? She gives
It
a
would most
coy
certainly kill
grin.
him if I gave him any.
No, that's not what she meant. That's not what she meant.
Oh.
She was saying, is it okay for you to be giving her a drink? Like, is it okay with your master to be giving her a drink?
Oh, she's
And
addressing
she gives you
Bean?
a coy grin.
She's addressing Bean?
She's addressing you. She's addressing you, saying, "Is it okay with your? Are you sure that your master?" And she kind of looks at me and is okay with you giving her a drink.
Yeah. It's
And she's giving you a coy smile at that. Like,
it is.
you asked your master.
It is fine.
Yes, I suppose it's okay that he gets along with the chum folk, especially those that are gracious enough to give us the good meat.
Ow.
I see, you have a wise master indeed, outsider.
Much like this drink, I think he's a bit of an acquired taste, but can be amusing.
Do you mean by that, familiar? I am the taste.
Of course. This
Oh,
is what I meant.
The Dragonborn can't help but chuckle a little bit.
Actually, you know what? Bean probably could have some of this and he just poof away. If he at any point tries to drink some, I will let him.
His nose is good enough to realize that's not something he wants to touch. He prefers the finer things.
Oh,
Grade A quality milk and the finest of meats and fish.
okay. My name is Idrissa. And this is, she smirks the golden bean.
The Golden Bean launches into the tirade that is his title as you say this. And she chuckles a little bit.
I like how you shortened it as the DM. You didn't even say the whole thing.
I can if you would like me to. I figured I would save us a few minutes, but if you'd like me to go over his title.
A few minutes.
I'm just making a comment. Oh, what have I done?
Dragonborn has...
The meat is charcoal at this point after we've done listing his titles.
It takes a little while. Yeah. Name's Tirdek. It is a pleasure to meet you.
What'd you say your name was?
Tirdek. Tirdec.
Yes, likewise. I have nothing more out of character, so.
Okay. Yeah, she continues cooking. When the meat is done, she cuts off a generous slab of meat for you and your master. And of course, she does pass it around to the rest of the party as she goes, but you seem to have a larger slice than the rest.
Oh, nice.
What about pistols? Oh, wait. The larger slice for the master and the servant is from Pestil's portion, right?
No.
Okay.
So, yeah, Varthok seemed to have a very, like, just unsheathed kind of, like, displeasure to you. The rest, as you kind of interact with any of the Dragonborn, they don't treat you nearly that same open disgust that Vorthok had. They try to avoid you if they can, and if confronted by you, or like they'll kind of exchange pleasantries, but you can sense there's a bit of a unease about it. So I guess you have no idea why.
None whatsoever. Aside from the fact that I am a tiny dragon.
Are you, though? Oh, sorry. Damn racism.
What about the rest of you?
I don't think that Hildy has much interest in interacting. She just wants to get this over with. So I think that she would just like go to her little portion of the tent and just make herself busy somehow. But just kind of keep to herself.
Okay. Absinthoss, Sodril, Freya, Pestles.
Odro collects what meal he can is given, and mostly retires back to his area. He is, as I've said before, very quiet, will be. If you talk to him, he will answer. He's quiet otherwise.
Perhaps those like to go around and ask a bit more about these ancestors, especially if these ancestors seem to foretell everything, but then also argue, in his opinion, a little hypocritically, you were foretold to do this thing, but you can't do this thing. He just wants to know a little bit more about.
Okay. Roll me a investigation. And do you talk to, like, are you going to the chief to talk to it, or are you just kind of asking the other members?
I'm gonna ask the other members first. Seems like
Roll me
the
investigation.
safer. Yeah, I'll be an 8.
You don't get a lot from them. It kind of mention of the ancestors and such. Most will just kind of shy away or just kind of give you a very like roundabout. Well, the ancestors are the ancestors.
Well,
None
useless.
seem to
Now
want
he
to
has
answer
to
you
brave.
directly.
Well, he might brave going to the chief at that point.
Okay.
So, wherever the chief, assuming he's still back in the big tent.
He's still in his main tent with his advisor with him. And as you kind of go in, the advisor kind of hisses at you a little bit, and the chief just puts a hand on his shoulder, and he immediately kind of whimpers and quiets down a bit. Welcome again. How may
Thank
I
you.
be of assistance?
I humbly want to know more about the ancestors.
You see Virathos is about to like try and give a snide remark, but again, you see the hand clench a little bit tighter on his shoulder, quieting him. I will try to answer what I can. Would you like to know?
How long ago did the ancestors first walk? Or roam this world?
It is said that they have roamed since the beginning of time.
What have the ancestors done for your people or for anyone else that makes them worthy of the respect that you give them? You seem to show a lot of deference to the ancestors. I'm curious to
Let me
understand.
ask you a similar question then. What does a king to a noble offer that offers you so much deference to them? What does a god to a believer offer that offers so much deference to them?
Chuckles a little bit at the comment of a god. So are you implying the ancestors still wield power to this day?
Yes.
Powers of destruction and creation?
That would be a simple answer, wouldn't it? Powers that we respect, that we believe guide us.
How do you dignify the ancestors now? What gives them honor?
We remember them, continue to serve and protect the lands. Protect this place, as it is our duty. And when the time comes that they ask of us, we open the trials once again.
And this prophecy is related to these trials?
When the doors of the temple open, the ancestors have chosen those in the world they have deemed worthy. Those that could very well shape what's to come. In your lifetime, I believe it has happened only twice before.
twice. May I ask who did it before us?
A tiefling that once accompanied the one you call Odril. And a human with an odd parity of souls.
I'm sorry, did you say Herity of Souls?
No, pairing of
Dual.
souls.
Hmm.
Like pairing parity of souls.
Hmm. Hmm.
Never before has the trial called for so many once. At least not in my knowledge or that of my fathers.
Ordinarily a trial of one.
Yes.
Who's the
Hence
prophet that speaks of them?
He looks over to Virthus, who's kind of like vibrating in his seat. It's me. The one they talked to. I was the one chosen.
Is there prophetic succession?
Meaning to usurp me, boy?
I'm asking how the prophets are chosen. Generation after generation. Familial lines? Dreams?
A manifestation of the power is little of your concern. Only those chosen can open the door. Is that dumb it down enough for you?
Sorry, I missed the last 10 seconds to shut my door.
He said only those chosen can open the door.
Mm.
Is that
Oh no, he
enough
just
of a...
closed it.
Well, Absinthe has enough of power.
Open the door. Stop having them be closed.
Open door. Closed door.
Oh, door.
Oh, door. Wait a minute. Copyright.
Banned on
I'm-
Twitch.
I'm pretty sure I'm familiar with the tiefling that you mentioned before. The human has me intrigued. You said a pairing of souls or a parody of souls, like a
Pairing
facsimile
souls.
pairing. What did he or she look like? Do you know?
Why do you wish to... Those chosen are usually kept in secret.
I fear I may know this person. I'd rather have that fear be resolved.
You succeed the trial. Till then, it is for their sake.
I think I've understood enough about your ancestors. Thank you.
Pleasure.
He gets ready to turn around and leave, and he's just gonna retire in the tent for a night, but he's gonna keep an eye out, just making sure people don't get too mentally distraught. While he's looking over at Hilda, trying to make sure that she isn't snorting any drugs.
She's taking all 10 doses at once.
Oh no.
She what?
She's not going to OD. She's a functional addict. Okay.
She's fucking ODing over here, man.
I have free
Get the
laser
Narcan!
extraction.
And pistols too,
I-
because racism.
Is the Narcan like the gold dust or the diamond dust in water that Freya carries around? That's like Narcan.
I think I would like to ask Odril a question. Pestles, after eating his fill of dinner, arranges his bed, but then goes over to Odril, and there's nothing to knock on, so he just Odril?
Again,
Pestles have
he's as you've seen him almost every night. He is reading some book from his pack. It's thick. It is, small print, fairly neatly scribed, well worn. And he just slowly closes it on a finger and takes his little spectacles off again. Yes.
Pestles, he looks and then asks, what is most difficult thing you have had to make decision to kill?
It is a heavy question, little one. I have killed many. And I have also spared many.
Which would Odril be willing to share about them? The most difficult to kill or the most difficult to spare? If willing to share at all with Pestles. Pestles only want to try and not understand. No, make acquaintance of Odril. And in the return, Odril may ask anything of Pestles, if Pestles can answer.
Most people begin by asking what things you enjoy to read, not who you kill. Is a strange way to start a familiarity.
Even Seabreeze didn't ask him that. Man.
I do not regret those who I have killed, nor do I regret those who I have spared. My job, my duty, is to protect those of the family I am bound to. And in that, I have served well. But I suppose I shall return your question with one of my own. What brings a kobold to this part of the world? Why did you travel with Master Andros?
Oh, no, Pestles not travel with Master Enduros per se. Pestles was trained with Thamor. Pestles was want to help Cursebreakers because Cursebreakers help Pestles when Pestles not have name. Pestles want to be big, great heroes, save things, solve big problem. Travel with and Capitan Yapindorossi helps us and get to know heroes. Pestle's not sure about the commitment to that, but why is Kobold here? Why is Pistols here? Pistols is here because Cutsbreakers still want to help others, to save things, and Pistols believe that Pistols can use self to help them. And he's kind of chewing on his lip a little bit. And
So your oath, your goal, the purpose you have chosen for your life is to help people.
Yes. Though Pistols learned recently, Pistols also chosen like some curse breakers for things by other things. Pistols still having trouble accepting.
The world is full of people. Protecting, helping people. And I would say naive. Protect the wrong person, they kill those you care for. Kill the wrong person, they are not there to protect those they love. People are complicated. The goal to protect people will leave you empty. Choose those most important. Protect them. Ensure their goals. It's best. So that when they succeed, you do as well.
Pistols suppose sort of understand. Wanted to give healing potion to Vartax, but he not want help. Maybe
As
see
I-
Pistols as person, well, thing, not to protect, what you say. Choosing what to protect and not to.
As I said, there are many people in the world. Not all will want your protection. Do what is right for those you believe also wish to do what is right.
Hmm. Did Audrey learn Draconic from reading book? And if you want to try to taper the conversation off into something else, Vessels would try to ask more innocuous and innocent, less heavy questions to start a dialogue to get to know him.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, he would mention that he Yeah, we can finish with that sentence then. He'll just say, "They have family near the wastes. It is important to learn those you interact with."
And expectantly waiting for another question, unless Odril goes back to what he's doing.
You hear a loud clang of a dagger. What's the grease from the food?
Teardeck, stay with me. Stay with me, Teardeck.
There's a clang and then a poof. Like that scene in Kung Fu Hustle, the guy's trying to throw the knife, it just rebounds off the back and shoulder.
Guess this is a decent place to kind of wrap up since we don't have Thamorn. I guess it kind of builds into the next step nicely a bit.
Mhm.
So what I will need from everyone though is I would like to know the answer to that question before we start next time. What is your desire? What comes to your character's mind as that question was posed?
I think that
I
we
think
fear
I
the
need to
most.
think.
I don't need it right now. I just need it before next session.
I want waffle
Yeah.
fries.
What, you want
All
to
right, you failed. Well,
Dead.
Chicken thing.
Monstrous constructs shaped like waffle fries rise from the sand and bludgeon you into mush.
It's the state of Marshmallow Man, yo! You just wish for a waffle fry, Dad.
Wish for waffle
2,
fries.
3,
You get
toast
more
'em!
than you can handle.
Mother puss bucket.
If I may, I was gonna ask the chieftain if he needed any healing for his, for the group, as people.
For the most part, no. They have their own, like, magics and stuff, and it's a small class. They do keep to themselves. But he does thank you for the offer, but they do take pride on their self-sustaining, like...
And my other question was if they needed any other, like, I mean, obviously with the magic users, if they needed any replenishment of water for their supplies.
Nope. They are, like I said, again, they appreciate the thought, but they do take pride in their tradition of being pretty self-sufficient in that regard.
Okay.
We got drugs, we got coffee, we
Vessels,
got
what are you
ridiculous booze.
I took a drink from my bottle of boundless coffee. As
Oh,
long as I
okay.
don't roll a 1, I can take as many sips of coffee as I want.
drinking? I thought it was going to be like the Dragon Ale or something else you were sipping, so... Yeah, okay.
Watch,
Yeah.
this one's going to be a 1. Never mind.
Is anything else that you want to do or ask before we kind of wrap up?
I would like to bless the dagger that I have and imbue a void spell into it.
Oh,
Ask
the,
him.
okay.
Yeah, the magic spell storing dagger.
You got it back?
Yeah, I got it back.
I thought it was you'd
Don't-
left it in Jerag.
Don't think about it too hard.
Ah, yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What happens to us, the answer is usually void shenanigans, so...
Hey sis, can you make this for me?
It'll just magically appear one day.
Response is.
My dagger,
then it
mine,
appears.
It appears in his arm.
My dagger is on.
Return my dagger. Twing! Not in my chest.
What would
He
a
gets
Mach
several
5
complaints that his
dagger-
dagger flew through and punctured several walls and injured several people and killed 2 of them on its flight back to
Oh,
Azoth.
it's Thor's hammer. Nice.
Yeah.
And he catches it, but goes with it to the other side of the plane.
No, he just
I
raises his
don't
hand, and it just pierces through his hand.
I
It comes to him
need that
blade
hand
first.
anyways.
Oh, that's like
Prote-
the Mad Max scene where the kid throws that metal boomerang and this dude tries to catch it and it cuts his fingers off.
The Predator. One of the new-ish Predator movies did that too. Someone threw the shuriken without a glove that helps control it, and turns out it just slices his hand off as it comes back. That one was a trip.
Protect
I'm
our
just-
hearts?
What
Yeah.
is for what's the spell?
I no idea what I'm putting in there.
What?
Oh no! It's a reactive spell with 3 words calling "Protect Our Hearts." Why? What?
Sora
Uh-huh.
appears from Kingdom Hearts. The power of friendship! By my Keyblade, we win!
We'll make
There's
fun
only
of it
one way
now.
to protect your heart, and that's to prevent you from becoming heartless to begin with.